It always seems impossible until it's done. That's not just a quote, it's the heartbeat of Nelson Mandela's life. He was born in a rural village, branded a terrorist, locked away for 27 years. But this same man walked free, forgave his captors, and became South Africa's first black president. Today on BookLia, we dive into the remarkable journey of Nelson Mandela, based on his powerful autobiography Long Walk to Freedom. Let's begin. Long Walk to Freedom was published in 1994, just months after Mandela became president of South Africa. It's not just a memoir. It's a historical document, a soul map, a deep and reflective account of one man's journey from tribal boyhood to revolutionary leader to peacemaker. Mandela began writing it secretly while imprisoned on Robben Island. For years, he hid the pages in the prison yard. After his release, he finished the book with the help of trusted editors. It reveals not only the pain and injustice of apartheid, but the inner transformation of a man who would choose unity over revenge. This is Mandela in his own words. His struggles. His dreams. His humanity. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born in 1918 in the tiny village of Mvizo in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. His father was a respected tribal chief, but Mandela was not raised for politics, he was raised for dignity. For respect. For justice. At age 7, he was sent away to study. He would become the first in his family to attend school. His teachers gave him an English name, Nelson, but his Xhosa roots remained strong. In university, Mandela became politicized. He saw firsthand the brutal inequalities of apartheid, laws that made black South Africans second-class citizens in their own land. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, ANC. Peaceful protest wasn't working, so he co-founded the ANC Youth League, demanding faster, bolder action. By the 1960s, the regime was cracking down hard. Mandela went underground, traveled in disguise, and became known as the Black Pimpernel. He received guerrilla training and began to support sabotage, not out of hate, but desperation. In 1962, he was arrested. In 1964, sentenced to life in prison. And so began 27 years behind bars. Mandela spent most of his sentence on Robben Island. Cold cells. Hard labor. Rare visits. No contact with the outside world. He was 44 when he went in. He was 71 when he came out. But prison didn't break him, it refined him. He learned Afrikaans, the language of his jailers, so he could speak to their hearts. He planted a garden, mentored young inmates, and held on to hope. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. He never let bitterness win. He prepared in silence for a future he might never see. In 1990, Mandela was released. The world watched as a tall gray-haired man walked out, not with rage, but with grace. 4 years later, he became the first black president of South Africa. He invited his jailers to his inauguration. He had tea with the widow of the man who tried to have him hanged. He didn't seek revenge. He sought reconciliation. If I didn't leave my bitterness behind, I'd still be in prison. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, allowing victims to speak and perpetrators to confess. Because for Mandela, healing a nation meant facing the truth, not burying it. Here are the 5 life-changing lessons from Nelson Mandela. 1. Forgiveness is the greatest form of strength. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He was separated from his family, denied the chance to attend the funerals of his mother and son, isolated, humiliated, forgotten by the world, yet never broken. When he finally walked free, he didn't call for revenge. He called for reconciliation. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. For Mandela, forgiveness wasn't surrender. It was liberation. The power to break the cycle of hatred and start building a peaceful, democratic South Africa. Lesson: holding on to anger weighs you down. Letting go doesn't excuse the past, it frees your future. 2. Leadership means listening, not commanding. Mandela was a trained boxer. But in politics, his strength wasn't in striking, it was in patience. He negotiated with those who jailed him, sat across the table from those who called him a terrorist. He made space for other voices, even when he disagreed. A leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the most nimble go out ahead. Mandela led not by force, but by example. He listened before he acted. He united people with calm conviction. Lesson: leadership isn't about control, it's about serving others with humility and vision. 3. Courage is not the absence of fear. Many see Mandela as fearless, but he never claimed to be. He admitted he often felt afraid. When facing the death penalty, when leaving prison after decades. But he didn't let that fear define him. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Courage to Mandela was about feeling fear and moving forward anyway. Lesson: bravery isn't about being unshaken. It's about taking action, even when your hands are trembling. 4. Education is the most powerful weapon. Behind bars, Mandela kept learning. He read political theory, studied law, debated fellow inmates, shared knowledge. Robben Island, in many ways, became his university. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. For Mandela, education wasn't just about personal advancement, it was about empowering the next generation to fight injustice with wisdom. Lesson: if you want to change your life or the world, start with what you learn and what you teach. 5. Change takes time, but it's always worth it. Mandela spent nearly 3 decades imprisoned. Still, he held on to hope. Still, he kept believing that one day, things would be different. I am fundamentally an optimist. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward. He didn't live to see all of the change he dreamed of. But because of his persistence, millions now live in a world he helped reshape. Lesson: real change is slow. It's hard. But it begins with your commitment to keep going, even when it feels impossible. Mandela's legacy isn't just about ending apartheid, it's about proving that dignity, courage, and forgiveness can transform even the darkest of realities. His life shows us that hope is a decision, and peace is a practice. Mandela stepped down after 1 term. He didn't cling to power. He modeled it. He spent his final years as a global elder, fighting AIDS, promoting peace, mentoring the next generation. He passed away in 2013 at age 95. But his spirit lives in every act of forgiveness, every peaceful protest, every leader who puts people before pride. So let me ask you, which part of Mandela's story spoke to you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more powerful stories, or if this video inspired you, please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our weekly book drops. This is BookLia. One book, big insights.